The story takes place in a convenience store where the protagonist Yamada works for minimum wage. One day, he returns home from his work and finds a thick goddess with her racks out and about, named Uranus. Additionally, Yamada notices that he is currently not even in his house and questions the place he is at. While he focuses on those 2 pink buttons on her chest, the goddess asks if he wants to go to another world and lets him know that he will be given some skills as a parting gift. Before he even gets the chance to reply, Yamada finds himself standing in the middle of the street in a different world. Afterward, Yamada checks his wallet and finds some gold inside. Furthermore, he realizes that the skills he received include potion making, storage, appraisal, cleaning, language comprehension, and more. For the time being, he manages to book a room at a nearby hotel, and Yamada figures that he can stay there for a while. To start things off, he opens the status window but isn't impressed after seeing his pathetic stats. Nonetheless, he knows that he didn't come here to become an adventurer and starts looking for something useful in his stats. After finding out that making potion is one of his skills, Yamada heads out and after a while manages to secure some empty and filled potion bottles. Apparently, the price of the potion is determined by rank, which goes from rank F to rank A. For the time being, Yamada decides not to make anything more than as he doesn't want to be put on the spot. As it's his first time trying to make a potion, Yamada goes for the F-rank recovery potion and manages to make it without any difficulty. With that being said, he continues working the whole night instead of gooning for once and manages to create several potions. However, instead of sleeping, Yamada decides to go out and sell them. As he doesn't know how to sell them, Yamada heads to the Guild of Commerce and gets excited seeing it for the first time. Eventually, the receptionist called him to ask if he needed something, but Yamada couldn't help but look at the 2 entities on her chest. Ultimately, he lets her know that he wishes to open a stall and decides to only do it for a day for now. She informs him that he can either book it or sign a lease, and after Yamada decides on his spot, the receptionist makes the permit for him and wishes Yamada good luck. Once he leaves the guild, Yamada thinks about how there are a lot of baddies in this new world. This ends up motivating him to earn a lot of money and rizz up those huzz. Soon after, Yamada sets up his stall and sits there for a while, noticing that there aren't many people around. After some time, he starts getting hungry and decides to go eat something when suddenly 2 shady-looking men appear, asking if the potion is for sale. They then request to buy 2 C-rank and 6 D-rank portions, and while Yamada is excited to finally make a sale, the buyers are also impressed by the quality. They discuss how there are no impurities in the potion and that they can sell for a lot more. Seeing Yamada confused, they explain that it's important for adventurers to stay focused, but since there are impurities in potion, they get distracted by the bitter taste. Back home, Yamada realizes that he sold out his stock, which made him 3 gold coins and a silver coin. Turns out those 2 were pretty famous adventurers, and because of them, more and more people came. With that, Yamada begins preparing for tomorrow and starts making more potions. The next day, he sold out once again, and today, he made 2 large gold coins, 1 gold coin, and 6 silver, which is enough to get by for a month. Yamada then begins thinking about what he should do and heads out to the city. Realizing that he smells like a dead raccoon, Yamada uses the cleaning skill to clean himself up and proudly stands in front of the S-rank brothel. But instead of going there, he heads inside a C-rank instead. The receptionist informs him that it costs 1 silver for a 15-minute session, and Yamada buys a 2-hour slot. He is then shown a book to choose the woman from, and the reason he chooses the C-rank brothel is because melons in this world are only considered a bunch of fat, and girls with big chesticles are considered less pretty. After carefully going through that book, Yamada manages to find the biggest racks known to men and ends up choosing her. With that, Yamada heads inside the room, thinking how his V-card is about to get swiped. Just as Yamada tries to calm down his nerves, the girl he booked appears, and after thanking him for choosing her, she introduces herself as Lestina and lets him know that she looks forward to their hardcore workout session. As he takes a closer look at Lestina, Yamada realizes that she attracts him more and more. Her silver hair, red eyes, and the body visible through the white blouse all make him way too excited. After having a quick chat, Lestina suggests taking their clothes off, to which he agrees. With that, she begins taking off his clothes, and as soon as she does, a shocked look appears on her face. She can't believe her eyes, as never in her life has she seen an anaconda this big. Following that, Lestina begins to panic a little as she can't understand how it's even possible. She then decides to get ready and puts on some scent while Yamada patiently waits. Eventually, Yamada plugs that USB into the port, and with that, the process finally begins. After a few seconds, Yamada ends up reaching climax, but he still continues to go for more rounds thanks to his endless stamina due to the potions. Judging by her reaction, Yamada figures that she is about to reach climax, and Lestina asks for more as she seems to be enjoying this a lot as well. Ultimately, they are done, and Yamada thinks about how good that session was. Furthermore, he remembers that he managed to last from 20 to 40 minutes each round, and it seemed like his little sausage had some otherworldly powers. With that being said, Yamada reassures her that he's satisfied and asks if she's interested in drinking the potion he made. Without thinking much, she ends up drinking it and lets him know that she feels much more energetic than before. As he still has an hour of time left, Yamada decides to talk to her a bit, which comes as a surprise to Lestina as many customers don't go more than 1 or 2 rounds. And this is her first time meeting someone with more stamina than David Goggins himself. After talking to her, Yamada finds out that doing the deed is simple in and out in this world, which is why the basic package was of a 5-minute period. Afterward, Lestina gets on top of him and mentions how happy she was when Yamada embraced her, because up until now, she didn't know what reaching climax felt like. Yamada gets flustered hearing this and begins downplaying his skills in bed. Finally, it is time to go and Lestina invites him to come again sometime, to which he agrees and leaves. On his way back, Yamada thinks about all the things he learned about Lestina, including the fact that she has a son with her ex-husband. After hearing this back then, Yamada questioned the reason her husband left such a beauty, to which Lestina replied that it was because her jugs got buffed. Apparently, when they got married, they weren't that big, but after having a baby, they started getting bigger and bigger, which is why they separated. Following that, Yamada visits a cafe to eat some food where a flatty asks Yamada if he's alone. When he agrees, she shows him his seat, and Yamada notices that everyone in the cafe seems to have their eyes fixated on her. Not only her, but the other waitresses seem to have smaller cannons, which proves the point that they are more popular in this world. Suddenly, Yamada realizes that he won't have any rivals in this world, and he will be happy to let all the others take away the flatties while he can have the girls with big melons. Before long, the food arrives, and as he begins enjoying it, the adventurer from before appears and recognizes Yamada as the potion seller. He then asks to sit next to Yamada, to which he agrees. It turns out that adventurers seem to have a request for Yamada and want him to make him higher-grade potions. He is thinking of going deeper into the dungeon, and as the monsters there are stronger, he will be needing potions of higher grade. Not only that, but he also requests some strengthening potions and antidote potions. Yamada lets him know that it's going to cost a lot of money, but according to the adventurer, it's a small price to save his life. After returning home, Yamada thinks about how he is a little interested in dungeons as well, but since he doesn't like pain, sticking to potion making is all he can do. With that, he decides to make those potions and remembers the time when he tried making one, but it ended up as a complete failure. But to his surprise, he manages to easily make a B-rank potion today even though he couldn't yesterday, which makes him wonder if Lestina gave him a power-up. Realizing that doing something different allowed him to make this potion, Yamada tries touching the caterpillars of this world, touching walls and breathing the air of this world. Just then, he gets a sneak peek of some cakes, which can also be called something different. The following night, Yamada decides to pay Lestina another visit in order to find clues to finish the product. Lestina is surprised to see him visit her so soon, and after rocking the bed a couple of times, they are finally done. With that, Yamada leaves and heads home to make the high-level potions. To his surprise, he manages to make an A-rank potion which he couldn't before, and realizes that it's surely Lestina's magic. Now that the A-rank potion is completed, all Yamada needs to do is make the enhancement potion. The next day, that adventurer pays him a visit and is once again shocked to see the quality of his portions. It doesn't take long for the rest of the potions to sell out as well, and he's really grateful for that, because it allows him to pay Lestina more visits. Just then, a person in armor appears, asking if this is the store that those adventurers like. Yamada lets them know that he's not sure if this is their favorite store, and after hearing this, that person takes off their helmet. The next day, Yamada once again pays Lestina a visit and this time orders a time slot of 6 hours with Lestina. As soon as he enters the room, Lestina comes running and gives him a hug, letting him know that she was waiting. With that, she suggests going to their bed while Yamada barely manages to control himself due to how pretty she looks. But before they go, Yamada requests a kiss, and without wasting any time, the two of them begin locking lips with each other. Yamada makes sure to go a bit overboard and shoves his tongue inside her mouth, which somehow impresses her as she never knew it was possible to kiss like that. After hearing this, Yamada decides to try something new today and asks Lestina to give him the melon sandwich treatment. She then rests her 10 kg rack on his lap and uses her saliva as drool to make the experience a bit smoother. Getting such treatment for the first time, Yamada realizes that it feels much better than he expected, and before long notices that he is about to finish. Without any hesitation, Yamada ends up finishing on her face and Lestina chugs it down like a tequila shot. After that, Yamada doesn't waste any time whipping out his sword and gives Lestina a great time with it. After they are done, Yamada makes sure to give her the potion to replenish her energy, which she still finds pretty amazing. Now that they are done, Yamada informs Lestina that the sales are going up, and now he decides to head back home and get ready for tomorrow's work. But before he goes away, Lestina wishes him good luck and lets Yamada know that he can always come to visit, reassuring him that she will always try her best to satisfy him. This causes Yamada's face to turn bright red, and he realizes that the comforting nature of a married woman is pretty strong. The next day, Yamada ends up selling all his potions once again, and thanks Lestina for firing him up, which helped Yamada to make a bunch of high-level stuff. Now, all that is left is for him to pick up one of the pre-orders that came from the person who showed up yesterday. Apparently, he's talking about the girl in armor who paid him a visit yesterday, and when Yamada told her that all the potions were sold out, she was really impressed. Ultimately, she ended up deciding to make a pre-order. Back in the present, Yamada pays Rilia a visit with the potions he made for her and can't believe how gorgeous she is. She ordered a total of 20 potions, including a couple of A-rank and C-rank potions. Without wasting any time, she decides to test one of those potions and drinks the whole potion, and just seeing her in that situation makes Yamada bricked up. Rilia is beyond impressed after tasting that potion and how fast it works. With that, she decides to drop by later as well, to which Yamada agrees. On his way back, he notices a couple of people gathered around Rilia and begins thinking how her calm face might change the moment he shoves his thing inside. Later that day, Yamada pays that brothel another visit, but to his surprise, the receptionist tells him that Lestina has a fever and won't be available today. Yamada gets a bit disappointed as he had already thought about some new positions when suddenly, the receptionist grabs his hand and suggests trying a different girl this time. Furthermore, he shows him a lot of girls who have jugs as big as Lestina's. After taking a look, Yamada ends up liking a girl named Malconia. The receptionist informs him that she's available and tells Yamada all the frisky details about Malconia he could think of. Ultimately, Yamada decides to book her for 2 hours, and before long, she appears in his room. As soon as he takes a look, Yamada is captivated by her big eyes, thick lips, and blonde hair. Instantly, Malconia ends up lying on top of Yamada with her thick body and starts taking off his clothes. As expected, she is shocked to see that anaconda inside but manages to somehow calm herself down. Before they get started, Yamada lets Malconia know that he doesn't want to go by the rules and wants to make love first. With that, the two of them start kissing, and just like Lestina, he goes all in. After that, he gets on top and continues kissing Malconia while playing with her giant airbags. Just like that, Yamada gets down to business, and after they are done, Malconia manages to reach climax as well, which is something she has never done before. This makes him realize that many women in this world have never finished and thank Malconia for her service. Surprisingly, she invites him to come see her again sometime, to which Yamada agrees. On his way home, Yamada starts thinking about how he has another girl he likes. Malconia's calming voice and big jugs are what he loves, but at the same time, he also thinks that Lestina is the best due to how hard she works for him. The following day, Yamada is done producing all the potions, and all that is left for him is to go sell them. To get things started, he first stores the potions using his storage skill, allowing him to go to his stall empty-handed. As usual, there are a lot of customers gathered to buy his potions, and after he is done with work, Yamada pays a visit to that restaurant and places his order. Soon after, the flatty appears with his grilled bighorn rabbit, and with that, he requests a bowl of rice as well. Apparently, Yamada has become addicted to the monster meat ever since he came to this world. While Yamada enjoys his meal, he hears some people talking about how they did the deed with a beast woman and that she sounded like a beast's yelp during the act. This turned that person off, and he decided to stop in the middle of the act. Curious, Yamada asks the waitress about the beast women, to which she replies that they live in a country named Yongle. According to her, it takes around 2 weeks to go there in a carriage, but if he uses dragons, it can take less time, although dragons can be pretty expensive. On his way back, Yamada thinks about how he'd love to go to that country someday and clap some beast cheeks. But for now, he heads to the brothel once again and enjoys his time doing it with Malconia for now. After they are done, Yamada makes sure to thank Malconia, but according to her, she should be the one thanking him, as Yamada always makes sure to praise her busty body, which she finds pretty sweet. With that, she lets him know that he is welcome anytime, and Yamada promises to be back soon. Afterward, Yamada decides to head back home as he stayed all night with Malconia and figures that he should take the day off. Later that day, Yamada pays a visit to the Calver real estate office and lets the receptionist know that he is looking for a house. When she asks about his requirements, Yamada replies that he wants a place where he can live and do his business as well. She then shows him a few choices, one that's on the main street and one that is not. After reading all the info, Yamada finds out that it costs 1 large gold coin for 1 bedroom and 4 gold coins for 2 bedrooms. But before he decides anything, Yamada requests a tour of that house. After carefully touring all the choices he has, Yamada decides to go with the cheapest one, and even though the receptionist warns him that it might be hard to do business there, Yamada seems to like that it's cheap and spacious. Besides, he seems to have a lot of customers and is sure that it'll be all right. With that, he finally manages to buy his first house and moves all his stuff using the storage skill. It doesn't take long for Yamada to realize that he bought a ton of stuff, because it was so easy to move them using his skill. Nonetheless, he begins setting up his bedroom, but all the nights he spent with the baddies, and the lack of energy makes it pretty hard. Luckily, he seems to have the right potion for this problem, and ends up drinking everything he can produce. This allows him to easily set up his bedroom, and afterward, Yamada heads to his hotel to inform the lady that he will be moving out, who seems a bit confused regarding the fact that he looks like someone who snorts creatine. Following that, he pays a visit to that brothel where the manager is impressed after seeing his muscles as well. But before long, the effect of the potion wears off and he returns back to being a toothpick-shaped dude. To his surprise, the manager informs him that both Lestina and Malconia are available, which puts him in a bind, unable to decide which one to choose. Luckily, the manager comes in clutch and informs him that he can book multiple girls at once. Without a second, though, he takes that offer and enjoys a night with both these hotties. During the act, Yamada can't believe that he gets to have 4 chesticles at the same time and as always enjoys this to the fullest. After they are done, Yamada begins thinking about making more money in order to book them both, and when Lestina asks if something is wrong, Yamada replies that he was thinking about the store. He further elaborates that he is thinking of opening his own store, which Lestina finds amazing and advises him not to overwork himself. Additionally, she advises him to hire an employee, to which Yamada agrees. Just then, Malconia intervenes and hesitantly mentions that she'd be willing to help him with the store. However, she quickly realizes that she might have said something outrageous and begins apologizing, but Yamada seems to like the idea and asks her to tell him more. On his way home, Yamada thinks about how he can take both Malconia and Lestina for 2 gold coins and finds this offer to be pretty cheap. After that, he pays the guild a visit and receives a sales permit from the receptionist named Sheska. This makes Yamada think how easy it will be to run the store with those 2 girls, and not only that, but he will also get to have them forever. After that, he asks Sheska about the land of beast men and questions if there are similar places. Sheska takes out the map and informs him that the country of Yongle is full of beastmen, while the country of Rissen is a land where dwarves and elves live. Lastly, Pyraconia is the land of demons, but it has been closed ever since the wars happened. She further informs him that their country has a strong marine industry thanks to the sea, and hearing about the sea gets Yamada even more excited. Now motivated, Yamada heads back, planning to make a lot of money and travel the world with his shorties. A few days later, those adventurers from before once again buy some potions from Yamada and inform him that thanks to his potions, it only took them a month to clear the dungeon. Yamada makes sure to inform them about the store, and they decide to go there from now on. After that, Yamada figures that he will have to say goodbye to his little stall and look back to everything that has happened ever since he came to this world. Additionally, he has managed to save enough money, and without wasting any time, he heads to the brothel to make payment for both Malconia and Lestina. The manager starts to tear up after watching his girls go, which moves the girls as well, and they end up hugging the manager to say their goodbyes. As they leave the brothel, Lestina thanks Yamada for taking them in, to which he replies that it's because he wanted to smash those cakes for a long time. From now on, he will be able to perform the deed with them anytime he wants. With that, the three of them visit a clothing store, and Lestina first tries an outfit that barely manages to hide her itsy bits. After Yamada gives her approval, Malconia tries an outfit that can barely be called an outfit to begin with. Looking at them causes Yamada to thank God for these gifts. Later that day, the three of them return home, and without wasting any time, both the girls appear in front of Yamada, ready to get cultivated. It doesn't take long for Yamada to lose control over himself, and he instantly hugs the two of them. The girls return the favor by kissing him at the same time, and with that, the three of them spend the night rocking the bed left and right. The next morning, Malconia and Lestina start working on the store and assisting Yamada with his potion business. After they are done with the day's work, they all make sure to drink the potion and gather all the energy they have spent working. The girls then compliment Yamada for making such great potions, and he tries rizzing them up by showcasing his potion-making skills. They are shocked to see the potions appear instantly, and after thinking about it, Yamada realizes that it's pretty cool as well. Following that, the girls ask if he can make any kind of potion, and after discussing something, they let him know that they'd like Yamada to make a potion for them. Apparently they wish to be slimmer, but Yamada instantly refuses and informs them that they are attractive just the way they are. Tears appear in the girls' eyes after hearing this, and they bless Yamada, sandwiching him between their Milky Way. Furthermore, they request Yamada to let them serve him with the body he loves so much. Once again, they stayed the whole night having fun, and the next morning, Yamada is delighted by how well the business is going. He makes sure to thank the girls for their hard work, and to his surprise, Lestina ends up baking lemon cake for him as well. After taking a bite, Yamada praises her baking skills and mentions how he wishes to stay with them forever. With that being said, Yamada asks the girls if they can run the store for him, and when they ask if he is going somewhere, Yamada replies that he is thinking of going to the land of the beasts. Eventually, Yamada ends up purchasing a dragon ride to that country, and is impressed to find out that it takes only 3 hours as compared to 2 weeks by horse carriage. Not only that, but he is also enjoying the ride, as riding a dragon was on his bucket list. After landing in the town, Yamada looks around and sees nothing but beasts around. To start things off, he first heads to an office to get his entry procedure done, and without wasting any more time, instantly visits a brothel. The manager of that brothel hands him the list of women, and after taking a look, he manages to find a girl named Irightles that he likes. When the manager asks about the time slot, Yamada ends up booking the whole night. Before long, the beast girl appears in his room and thanks Yamada for choosing him. Yamada is captivated by her red hair and tall figure. Just then, he notices something and asks Irightles if she has a problem with formal speech, and when she agrees, Yamada gives her permission to speak normally. Irightles instantly switches her whole personality, but Yamada doesn't seem to mind, as he believes every girl is most attractive when she's just herself. After that, she starts getting closer to Yamada, asking if he likes doing the deed, and when Yamada agrees, Irightles pins him on the bed. She then gets on top of him, but to her surprise, Yamada starts kissing her. However, she gets confused and asks what this is, but instead of explaining to her, Yamada starts to explore the cave, which allows her to finish for the first time as well. With that out of the way, Yamada takes off his pants and reveals the mighty Excalibur. But Irightles gets scared after seeing the size and gets reassured by Yamada that the others were fine. Additionally, he thinks how nice it is to see Irightles become a maiden when she was so bossy before, and lets her know that he's got the skills to make her feel good. As expected, Irightles begins having a great time, and eventually, Yamada reaches his climax, and to his surprise, she ends up drinking pretty easily as well. Yamada was impressed and patted her head, complimenting her for doing a good job. However, he isn't done yet, and decides to teach her how to make the melon sandwich attack, to which she agrees and asks him to teach her more. Yamada can't believe how she went from looking like a dangerous girl to someone who is all cute and fluffy. Nonetheless, he gets right onto it, and after they are done, Irightles informs Yamada that she used to be a B-rank adventurer. This makes him realize the reason her abs are so cool, but according to Irightles, they are nothing compared to the old days, as her muscles used to be at least a foot tall. Yamada reassures her that she looks the best now, and Irightles further mentions that she used to be a naughty slave back in the day, and was very famous even while having a big rack. Before long, doing the deed started feeling more enjoyable than adventuring, which made her decide to quit her job and join the brothel. That's how she met Yamada. However, it was very difficult for her to find someone who can match her energy, as most of them got sucked dry from her. But Yamada was totally different, and at first, Irightles thought she was going to take the lead like she always does, but she couldn't do anything as Yamada kept on hitting her with different stuff, until she was satisfied. Now she has become crazy for Yamada and is sure that no one can beat his skills. Yamada appreciates her saying that, and Irightles once again says that she has never had climaxed from anyone that good. Hearing this motivates Yamada to jump back on top and finish the deal. After they are done, Irightles asks her to come back soon, to which he agrees. Once outside, Yamada enjoys a hot drink and thinks about how the brothels of this country are the best. Furthermore, he really likes Irightles and believes that she's got that big sisterly personality. Knowing that she is someone who's different from Lestina and Malconia, Yamada can't help but say that he'd like to marry her. Instantly, he gets taken aback after hearing what he said, but realizes how good the nights can be with all three of the girls together. The problem is that those two girls are back at the shop, and he doesn't know how they will act when they see Irightles. But to his surprise, they seem to be rather excited about him bringing a new girl, and when he asks if they are really okay, they reply that if it's something Yamada has decided, there's no problem. He's glad to hear that and mentions how he thought they might be against it. The girls reply that they might have been jealous in normal circumstances, but since it's Yamada, they are all right. Hearing this brings tears to his eyes, and Yamada makes sure to give them a tight hug. Following that, he takes both Malconia and Lestina to the land of the beast, which they really enjoy as it is their first time riding a dragon. He knew that they might have been lonely at the shop, so he thought the three of them going on a trip together would be nice. The girls then notice how there are sounds of music coming from everywhere, and Yamada shows them the place where most of the townsfolk are gathered to watch a performance. There, a couple of girls with washboard bodies are dancing, and while the girls really enjoy their performance, Yamada can't help but be disappointed by their bodies. Additionally, he notices the guys around them complimenting Malconia and Lestina, but backs off after seeing the fat on their chest. He makes sure to cover their ears, so they won't hear the negative remarks they are making. Just then, he notices a shop selling the festival clothing and ends up buying his women the same clothes. They make sure to thank him by putting on a performance, and seeing their bodies giggle so viciously brings tears to his eyes. But when the girls argue that they did nothing but dance, Yamada replies that he enjoyed it more because the two of them are the most attractive. After that, he asks them to take the dresses off and enjoys a night getting crushed between the two of them. The next morning, they wake up and notice Yamada already working on something. He then asks them to taste the new potion he developed, and after having a sip, the girls praise it for being so delicious, which he's glad to hear, as Yamada was trying to go for a sports-like drink. Later that day, customers start lining up outside his ship, and all of them seem to really like this new potion he made as well. Ultimately, they end up selling all the potions he made, which makes Yamada realize that even if he made more of the new potions, they would get sold out every day. With that, he has made enough money to go and pick Irightles from the land of beasts. Before long, he appears at the brothel she works at and gets told by the manager that she is currently busy with a customer. Just then, the person she was working with came up looking exhausted, saying how she squeezed out 4 shots in a matter of 15 minutes. Soon after, Irightles also shows up, saying that all the other men are boring. However, a bright smile appears on her face as soon as she sees Yamada, and just like that, the two of them get down to business once again. After they are done with the deed, Irightles looks a bit disappointed as their time together is about to end, and when Yamada questions if she wants to do it more often, Irightles instantly agrees. This makes Yamada suggest taking her in, and to his surprise, her tail starts to wiggle with excitement. However, she instantly gets quiet and lets him know that the price he will have to pay is quite a lot, and when he asks her for the price, she lets him know that it'll cost a red gold coin. Apparently, 1 red coin is around 10 million yen, which is a lot, but that just shows how famous Irightles is. Nonetheless, Yamada says that it's all right with him, and when Irightles tries to tell him just how much money that is, Yamada replies that he is making quite a lot of dough these days. Additionally, he informs her about his store in Virginia, saying that he wants her to come there, but that doesn't matter to Irightles as she's okay as long as Yamada is with him. With that being said, Yamada informs the manager that he wishes to take Irightles with him and makes the payment with his card. Following that, the manager decides to bring the contract and advises Irites to get ready. Irites gives him a kiss and asks Yamada to wait for her, while all the managers can think of are the times she sucked all those dudes drier than the Sahara Desert. Finally, it is time for them to leave, and Irites makes sure to thank the manager for everything. He replies, saying that it's his pleasure and hopes that she can be happy. On their way back, Irites asks Yamada about their plans, and he suggests going to a clothing store first. Furthermore, he notices Irites' clothes and thinks how they work well hiding the bombs she's rocking inside. According to Irites, a person from her work in modest clothes is the best lure ever, but seeing that the freak likes the clothes that barely cover anything, she decides to wear what he likes. Without wasting any time, they pay a quick visit to the shop and then take a ride back home on the dragon. While flying, Irites gets excited as this is her first time and figures that it won't take long for them to reach Borginia. Meanwhile, Yamada can't take his eyes off those cakes and thinks about how much he loves Irites in this outfit. Just then, she notices his eyes locked on those things and gets on top of Yamada, mentioning how happy she is that Yamada wants to see her body. Furthermore, she says that he might be a little weird but is surely a great guy and buries him under those cannon balls. And in return, Yamada grabs that peach, causing her to make happy noises. Eventually, they return home and get welcomed by Malconia and Lestina, who are curious about the person he brought along. Yamada lets them know that her name is Irites and asks the two of them to get along with her. While the girls start chatting and introducing each other, Yamada stays behind and enjoys the moment. When they question if something is wrong, he replies that seeing three beauties in front of him and knowing that they belong to him is the best feeling. Hearing this makes all three of them blush, and instantly, he gets rewarded from all sides. Lestina decides to go a bit overboard and slides her hand in, but turns out she is not the only one, as there seem to be three hands playing with his little bro. Before long, he realizes that holding it in anymore is impossible and asks the girls to line up with their mouths wide open. Without any hesitation, the girls comply, and Yamada makes sure to fill them up. However, they are still not satisfied and ask Yamada to give them more, suggesting going to the bedroom. There, he pumps the gas in all of them one after another and makes sure all three of them reach climax. After they are done, Yamada mentions that he is glad they all became friends, to which they reply that it's because they all love that big sausage. The following day, Irites begins working at the shop as well, and people start to recognize her as the B-rank adventurer from Younger. They also talk about how malevolent she was in the bedroom when they booked her, and figured that Yamada must be a guy with amazing skills. Eventually, all the potions are sold out, and afterward, Lestina suggests making tea for everyone. While they enjoy the tea, Irites talks about how seeing all these adventurers reminds her of her old days, and when Yamada asks if she wants to go back to being an adventurer, she refuses, saying that being an adventurer means not being able to take that rod. Yamada lets her know that he's a little curious, and Irites decides to become an adventurer if he becomes one. Malconia and Lestina mention that they will be relieved if Irites goes with him, but Yamada refuses, saying that he wants the two of them with him as well. When they ask Yamada not to worry about them, Yamada replies that he'll get lonely without them and says that he wouldn't last not being able to play with their bodies. Irites joins them as well, and like always, they all make love. The next morning, Yamada realizes that he's still super interested in becoming an adventurer and tries to remind himself that he's super weak and won't be able to tolerate the pain and suffering. Just then, Irites wakes up and says that it'll be all right, and when Yamada asks how she knows what he was thinking, Irites replies that he was saying it out loud. Furthermore, she reminds him that he's got those potions, and at the same time, the others wake up as well. Advising Yamada to go as him, living life as he likes makes them happy as well. With that being said, Yamada gets prepared and drinks the strength-increasing potion, making sure not to go overboard like last time. To start things off, Irites decides to take him to the Adventurers Guild and get him registered first. On their way to the guild, they walk past Rilia, who ends up recognizing him. Later that day, his registration is complete, and Yamada is given a G-rank adventurer's card. One of the hunters present there recognizes Yamada as the potion shop owner and asks if he would like to join their party. However, Irites intervenes and informs them that she is already helping him out, and they end up recognizing her as the B-rank hunter as well. Following that, they pay a visit to the weapon shop where the shop owner showcases some long-range weapons, and after that, they go to an armor shop to buy some protection. While Irites is a little concerned about the price of these products, Yamada mentions how fun this looks as he has only seen this kind of thing in games before. In the end, he buys everything he likes, and on their way back, Yamada thanks Irites for helping her buy all that stuff. He then figures that they need to buy a shield, but Irites replies that he won't need one as he'll only use long-range weapons. When Yamada asks if it'll be okay, Irites reassures him that she won't let anything lay a finger on him. Following that, Yamada questions about the weapon Irites uses, to which she replies that she already has one and can't wait to show how she fights with it. Yamada begins to wonder what she looks like while fighting and can't wait to witness the real thing. Just then, the fight many down bad weebs yearn to see appear in his mind, but sadly, he gets interrupted when Irites tries talking to him. After they return home, both Malconia and Lestina get worried and ask the reason they are home so quickly, as they thought they were going on an adventure. Yamada replied that the alteration of armor was going to take some time, so they decided to come back for now. After hearing this, the girls let out a sigh of relief as they thought Yamada might have gotten injured or something. Seeing their reaction, Irites teases Yamada, saying that they sure love him. At the same time, Rilia appears in the shop, and both Yamada and Irites instantly recognize her as the A rank. The girls let her know that they are closed for today, but Rilia replies that she has stopped by for another reason. With that, she asks if it's possible for her to join his party. Yamada wonders why an A rank wants to join his party, and Rilia replies that there's a limit to how much she can do alone. However, Irites then asks the reason she isn't looking for better candidates, to which she replies that it has to be Yamada. Concerned, Irites takes out her sword, and at the same time, Rilia removes her armor and reveals those two godly chunks of fat. Everyone from Yamada to the girls are beyond shocked after seeing the massive size, and when Irites asks if this is her reason, Rilia agrees, saying that in order to hide her big jugs, she has always done things alone. Irites further asks if it's okay for her to tell them, and she agrees, saying that one shouldn't ask for favors if they are hiding things. Furthermore, she believes that Yamada and the others would be fine with this kind of body, and Yamada reassures her that he loves them big. After hearing this, the three girls start to discuss how he likes the bigger ones, causing him to blush. Rilia also figures that they won't judge her, and once again asks Yamada to let her join his party, as dungeon crawling has been a dream of hers since she was a child. Luckily, all the girls instantly give Yamada the green light, and seeing that everyone else has agreed, Yamada agrees as well. But before anything happens, Yamada informs Shesha that he's in love with the three girls present here, saying that their relationship is also physical. After telling her all that, he asks if she still wants to join, and when Rilia questions if he means he will love her as a woman as well, Yamada affirms. Rilia then mentions that she has been despised as ugly all her life, but if he's willing to love this body of hers, she cannot be happier. With that being said, he officially welcomes her to the team. Later that night, the girls prepare Rilia and reassure them that Yamada is going to be really happy. Before long, they appear in front of Yamada, with Rilia's body wrapped like a birthday present. Yamada instantly gets excited seeing how huge her bits are, and she lets him know that she doesn't have any kind of experience. This ends up making Yamada even more excited and the girls jealous, who wish they could have given their first time to Yamada as well. Lastly, Lestina tells Rilia to leave everything to Yamada, saying that she doesn't have to be scared. To start things off, they put Rilia in the ultimate position, and Malconia tells her to look at how big Yamada's little boy is getting after looking at her. Rilia freaks out and wonders if she can even handle something so huge, but Yamada reassures her that it'll be fine. With that, the two of them begin kissing each other, and Rilia starts experiencing some feelings she has never before. She further notices that it's as if the place Yamada is touching her is melting away, and ultimately asks him to do the deed. Sometime later, Rilia wakes up and gets told by Malconia that it's normal for one to lose consciousness after spending so much time with Yamada. Furthermore, they compliment her for handling it so well, and when Rilia asks about Yamada, they let him know that he's currently charging Lestina up. Irites mentions that Rilia looked like she was having a great time doing it and seeing Lestina with Yamada. Rilia comments on how happy she looks. Irites agrees, saying that she also feels very happy being embraced by Yamada, and Malconia agrees as well. Hearing this brings a smile to Rilia's face, and when she asks if it's possible to do it one more time, the girls agree. The next morning, the girls ask Yamada about Rilia, to which he replies that she went to check out of the inn she was staying at. Soon after, she returns and brings some tasty-looking bread for the rest of them. Yamada is surprised to see her in that outfit, and when he asks about it, Rilia replies that she borrowed it from Lestina. He gets a little curious as Rilia has always covered her body, and she replies that Yamada showing her love gave her the courage to be like this, and as long as she's with Yamada, Rilia doesn't care how people look at her anymore. With that, she requests him to keep loving her, to which he agrees and asks her to be prepared. Just then, Iraitlys interrupts and tells Rilia that she isn't allowed to keep him to herself, which ends up scaring Rilia as she backs off and apologizes, unaware that Iraitlys was just teasing her. Later that day, everyone is eating lunch together at the dining table, and the girls discuss how even all of them combined are not enough to win against a freak like Yamada. Furthermore, they warn Rilia to be careful as she's still inexperienced or Yamada might just break her. Hearing the word break makes Rilia imagine Yamada going all out and not stopping even when she begs him to. But to her surprise, it still sounds like a good thing to her. At the same time, Yamada is glad that Rilia has learned to love her body. After lunch, the three of them are ready to head out adventuring, and the dungeon is 20 minutes away by foot. Coincidentally, a salesman appears and offers to give them a ride on his huge chickens for 3 silvers, and Yamada ends up taking the offer. Seeing Yamada having difficulty riding it, Rilia advises him to embrace the chicken like she's doing, and Iraitlys tells him to raise his body after he gets used to it. Eventually, they manage to reach the dungeon, and when Iraitlys asks if he's nervous, Yamada agrees, saying that he hasn't had any fights all his life. Nonetheless, Rilia grabs his hand and reassures Yamada that she will protect him, and Iraitlys does the same, suggesting doing all kinds of naughty things once they return. This helps Yamada calm down a little, and with that, they enter the dungeon. Apparently, they will only encounter slimes on the first floor, but might come across kobolds and goblins later as well. All 3 of them start to appear randomly on the 4th and 5th floor, but onward, there will be boss monsters. But as this is a beginner-friendly dungeon, Yamada doesn't have much to worry about, and once he eliminates the dungeon boss, he'll be a full-fledged adventurer. The first monster they encounter turns out to be a slime which looks totally different from what Rimuru looks like. Iraitlys informs Yamada that this slime isn't that strong, and with a single strike, cuts that poor guy in half, informing Yamada that this is the way to take care of them. To Yamada's surprise, the slime begins to melt after being eliminated, and Iraitlys explains that the monsters return to the ground once they are dead, and sometimes leave items like a magic stone behind. However, the one it left is pretty useless due to its size, but the bigger monsters leave bigger stones behind. After that, Rilia showcases her skills to Yamada, and he can't help but be impressed. Additionally, he gets motivated to try eliminating one on his own and whips out his magic pistol. Without any warning, Yamada shoots the magic bullet toward the slimes that causes a huge explosion, causing the girls to fall onto the ground. It turns out that one of his bullets was enough to make a hole in that dungeon wall. Yamada starts praising his gun for being this amazing, but Iraitlys intervenes and explains that the strength of a magic gun depends on the holder. This means Yamada has an insane amount of mana, and he figures that it must be due to all the potions he chugged. Just then, the girls start to freak out after seeing the slime leave behind the Fruit of Power, which is an extremely rare item. Yamada decides to give it to the girls, and even though they insist that Yamada should be the one to eat it, he refuses, saying that he'd rather have the 2 of them get strong. Having no other choice, the girls split the fruit in half, but as soon as they eat it, a weird sensation begins taking over their bodies. Both their muscles start to grow rapidly, and they can't help but look flustered after what just happened. Yamada, who saw everything, gets instantly bricked up, and after pulling Iraitlys towards him, he starts shoving his tongue inside her mouth. Rilia gets jealous and asks him to do it with her. As expected, Yamada complies without any hesitation and ends up satisfying both of them. Thanks to the kissing session, the girls are now even more motivated, but as they continue making their way deeper into the dungeon, all they do is stand behind while Yamada one-shots everything with his gun. Furthermore, they can't understand the reason why all the drops are rare, but they decide not to overthink as Yamada seems to be having fun. Thanks to Yamada's trusty gun, they manage to reach the boss arena in no time. As expected, Yamada defeats the boss monster, the hobgoblin, in one shot as well. While the girls discuss the insane amount of mana Yamada possesses, he notices a treasure box that appears after he eliminates the boss monster. Without wasting any time, he opens the treasure chest to find out what's inside, and to everyone's surprise, there turns out to be a magic stone, bigger than the previous ones they got. Incite tells Yamada that if he sold that to the guild, he'll immediately rank up by several levels, but at the same time it can be kept as a souvenir, considering its rarity. Now that they have defeated the boss, Yamada suggests heading back home. Luckily, there's a magic circle in the back and they decide to go through that. With that, the three of them appear outside the dungeon and end up falling on top of each other, which is weird as normally it takes them back the usual way. Incite finds herself incredibly close to Yamada's meat monster while Rillia's plumps are right on Yamada's face, something he doesn't seem to mind. After informing the guild about Yamada's achievements, he gets promoted to rank F, and although he is not really interested in ranking up, Yamada can't help but be happy about it. Furthermore, the girls think that his strength is not that of an F ranker but way more, and they feel guilty, because Yamada gave them the fruit even though they did nothing. But Yamada argues that he was only able to move forward because they taught him all sorts of stuff, and their presence was really reassuring. With that being said, he suggests hurrying back home when unexpectedly, both the girls end up kissing him on the cheek. Once again, they congratulate him for clearing his first dungeon, causing Yamada to get flustered. Later that day, they finally return home, and there, they see Malconia and Lestina dressed up as bunny girls, ready to welcome him. They make sure Yamada isn't injured or anything, and when he questions them about their attire, the girls let him know that they wanted Yamada to be happy when he returned and thought he might like these kinds of clothes. Yamada instantly hugs the two of them, telling them that he loves it. Furthermore, they thank Rillia and Incite for protecting Yamada, and they inform them that they didn't do anything as Yamada is already pretty strong. However, Lestina mentions that because of the two of them, Yamada was able to deal with the situation calmly, and it went smoothly because of their presence. Malconia also praises them for supporting and protecting Yamada, for which she is really thankful. After that, they all enjoy eating dinner together, and once it's late night, all four of the girls appear in front of Yamada, ready to get filled. Yamada enjoys it as it's been so long since he was blessed by Malconia's and Lestina's mouths. But at the same time, he really enjoys Rillia's huge honkers and those juicy limps of Incite's. After they are done with foreplay, Yamada asks the girls to line up for the main act, and without wasting a single second, he makes sure to satisfy each and every single one of them. Once everyone has finished, Yamada drinks his potion to re-energize himself and remembers that he needs to organize all his stuff. Just then, he notices that his gun is about to break apart, which Incite finds pretty normal, considering the amount of mana Yamada put it through. Ultimately, he decides to get it repaired, but Incite argues that it might break down again, and there's no point unless it gets reinforced. In that case, she advises him to get it fixed from the land of Risen, and the following day, all four of them pay a visit to that place. While enjoying the vibe of this town, Yamada notices an elf pass by and sees a few dwarfs as well, reminding him that this place is hailed as the Holy Land for craftsmen. Yamada gets excited as this all seems like a fantasy world to him, but first, he decides to book an inn and then head to the guild to ask for a good shop around. Incite figures that he might want to go to a brothel afterward, to which Yamada agrees, and when he asks the others if it's all right, they agree. But before that, Rillia lets him know that there aren't many elves with big jugs, which comes as a shock to Yamada, and he falls to the ground due to the disappointment. Later, Yamada takes a walk around the town, realizing that he hasn't seen an elf with a chest buff around, but he is still confident that there must be at least some present in the area. With that being said, he finally arrives at the brothel and gets welcomed by the manager, who's surprisingly a woman. Yamada asks if they have girls with big chesticles around, to which she agrees, saying that they have one. Afterward, she shows him a picture of her, and Yamada instantly agrees to book that elf. He then heads to the room and thinks about how it has been a long time since he has waited for a girl like this. Soon after, someone knocks on the door, and it turns out to be the elf girl. She introduces herself as Certable, and says that she couldn't believe there was still a man who would choose her, which is why she has decided to serve him well. Apparently, elves are a race with overwhelming magical and intellectual abilities, and they have a lifespan several times longer than humans. Not only that, but they are very youthful and pretty-looking people. The elf in front of Yamada also has snow-like white skin, emerald-colored eyes, and melons bigger than her own face. As soon as he meets her, Yamada confesses his love to Certable, saying that he wishes to buy and take her in. This comes as a shock to Surtable, who reminds Yamada that they just met, to which Yamada replies that he wants to take her in just after a minute of meeting her. Surtable agrees but puts a condition, that is for Yamada to satisfy her. Turns out it's impossible in Surtible's mind, as she has never climaxed with a man, and the only time she's satisfied is when she plays with herself. She figures that Yamada is only curious and will probably leave soon. But to her surprise, he instantly hugged her and grabbed those balloons like there was no tomorrow. Furthermore, he pinches the pepperonis, causing Surtable to make funny noises and ask Yamada not to touch her like this. However, he doesn't back down and continues doing what he's doing. In the end, he manages to satisfy her, making her shocked, as this is the first time someone made her finish so easily. Once they are done, Surtable asks Yamada to just call her Surti and informs him that his seminal mana was so great that she felt magic power after a long time. Yamada is shocked to hear that there's mana in semen, and Surti agrees. Yamada is impressed by how knowledgeable she is, and Surti lets him know that she used to be a great sage. He is shocked hearing this, but Surti adds the fact that she is now cursed. Turns out it happened 300 years ago during their war with demons, and ever since then, she has been unable to use magic. Since she was useless to a party, Surti retired and came to this brothel. Yamada argues that this is too big of a career shift, but according to her, she likes it because she's free. Because of her giant racks, she doesn't get selected much and enjoys free food without doing anything. Following that, Yamada asks her to drink a potion he made, which Surti appreciates as she is getting thirsty. But as soon as she drinks it, Surti starts feeling as if her body's heating up, and before long, she manages to use magic again and ends up burning Yamada's crusty hair off. He then explains that it was an S-ranked decurse potion and apologizes for his unnecessary meddling. Surti thanks him, and with that being said, he informs the manager about his wish to buy Surti. This comes as a surprise to the manager, but he takes out the documents nonetheless and tells Yamada that it will cost him 15 red gold coins. Without any hesitation, he signs the document and gets asked by the manager to take good care of Surti, as she is someone who elves admire a lot. Yamada reassures her that he will keep Surti happy, and soon after, she appears, wearing the same dress she used to wear when she was the great sage. With that, she thanks the manager, who hopes that Surti enjoys her life from now on. The two of them then return to the inn, where Yamada introduces her to the others. Both Irites and Rilia recognize her as the great sage and request her to tell them about her journey. In the meantime, Yamada tries taking Malconia and Lestina away for some naughty time, only to be grabbed by the others, who ask him to involve them as well. Although they want to hear the stories, doing the deed with Yamada is more important to them. The next day, Yamada is told that the craftsman he's looking for will take several months, as he's pretty famous in the town. Just then, a dwarf appears and offers to fix his weapon for him. His name is Garindo, and he gets scolded by the receptionist for drinking inside the guild, who then informs Yamada that he used to be the best craftsman in town. Yamada finds it pretty cool and asks him to fix his gun. Turns out it will take 5 days for the repairs, and Surti and the others are headed to a dungeon in order to test her powers. During that time, he decides to take Malconia and Lestina out shopping. He buys them everything they want, treats them to the food they want, and ultimately he returns home to enjoy a good old hot bath. Unexpectedly, both Malconia and Lestina end up joining him, offering to wash his back. While they are doing so, the other girls return from the dungeon as well and end up joining their little party as well. Just like that, Yamada finds himself surrounded by not 2 but 10 knockers. A few days later, Yamada along with the girls decide to head to the guild to retrieve his weapon. Surti hopes that Garindo didn't get drunk and forgot to fix his weapon, but Yamada is confident as he believes in that guy. As expected, they found him passed away on the floor, but to their surprise, they found his new and reformed gun sitting right next to him. Soon after, Garindo wakes up and lets him know that he got tired because it's been a long time since he worked on a big project. He further mentions that he sensed tremendous magic from it and gets even more shocked after seeing the great sage by Yamada's side. Lestina and Malconia praise Surti for being too famous, and Garindo lets them know that she's a great sage who was quiet for hundreds of years, but her being taken by a human must be a big event for the people. Following that, Garindo tells Yamada about the bar attached to the side of the gun that will let him regulate his mana, and reassures Yamada that he has made it unbreakable as well. Yamada then asks for the price. Garindo asks for 1 red coin, and when Yamada finds it pretty cheap, Garindo ends up cranking it up to 30 red coins. Nonetheless, Garindo tells Yamada to take it as a token of his appreciation, as he left a large amount of material for him to repair the gun. This included materials like orichalcum and adamantite, which is something most craftsmen can only dream of working on. It ignited the long-lost passion he had in his heart, and after hearing this, Yamada agreed to take the one red gold coin offer. After leaving that place, Yamada tells the others that Riri left because she wanted to speak with Garindo a little more. While she is away, Yamada makes the other girls wear that same festival clothing and tells them to focus on shaking those peaches a little more. Earightles and Surti also make sure to give Yamada a great time using their bodies. After seeing all that shaking and bouncing, Yamada finds it hard to control himself and jumps on the girls. Once they are done with the deed, Earightles informs Yamada about the new dungeon that has been found. Moreover, it's a newly built one, and the first people to capture a dungeon get great power. It is said that even heroes gained power that way. The word hero sounds pretty cool in Yamada's mind, and now that he has a new weapon, he suggests going to that dungeon as well. When Earightles argues that they might get caught by someone else while raiding the dungeon, Surti reassures them that she will put up a smoke screen. The following day, the three of them leave for the dungeon, and as discussed, she puts on the smoke screen. Once inside, they are surprised as although they are inside the dungeon, there's still sky. The first monster they encounter turns out to be a high orc, and Earightles decides to take care of it. With that, she charges the high orc and takes care of it with ease. Before long, a few other orcs appear, and this time, Surti decides to showcase her talent. With that, she uses her magical powers to disintegrate those orcs without any problem. Yamada is amazed seeing her powers and compliments her for being this strong. Both the girls get even more motivated with Yamada praising them, and just like that, they continue defeating stronger and stronger monsters. Eventually, the floor they are on is over, and just when they start to think that this is the end of the dungeon, something appears behind Surti, and she starts to shake from fear, regretting being careless. It turns out to be 3 giant dragons, and while Yamada is amazed, Earightles lets him know that 3 S-rank dragons are no laughing matter. Both Earightles and Surti start to shake from fear, aware that they won't be able to handle them. Having no other choice, Yamada steps up and decides to get it over with. He then sets the bar to strong on his gun and shoots at those dragons. At the same time, Lestina, who is at home, looks up in the sky, and when Malconia asks if something is wrong, she replies that Yamada's face pops up in her head. Hearing this gives Malconia the idea of baking cookies for the others, to which Lestina agrees. Meanwhile, Yamada finds himself in a white place, and suddenly, a system panel appears in front of him, informing him that the first people to conquer this dungeon will be given a new power. After looking at all the choices, Yamada decides to go with Beast Tamer, and just like that, he returns to the real world and finds himself getting hugged by Surti and Earightles. They start thanking Yamada for saving them, as they would have been done for otherwise. Furthermore, they both start kissing him on the cheek but get told by Yamada to stop, or he won't be able to resist anymore. Afterward, they inform the guild about them clearing the dungeon, and when she asks if they went to the White Place, Earightles informs that she chose the Valkyrie role while Surti chose the Spirit Mage role. Before long, the guild master appears and introduces himself as Forenzo. He makes sure to shake Surti's hands and then offers them 100 red gold coins as a reward. However, the girls figure it's not much, to which the guild master agrees and decides to propose the need for revisions. Additionally, Forenzo gives them their new ranks, which puts both Earightles and Surti at S rank and Yamada at B rank. Both Malconia and Lestina are surprised to see this, and when Earightles lets them know that she was prepared to die this time. Surti also adds that if Yamada had not saved them, they wouldn't have made it home in one piece. Hearing this makes Malconia and Lestina cry, but Yamada reassures everyone that he will never let them die, causing the girls to surround and hug Yamada. Instead of hugging them back, Yamada takes off their clothes and starts going wild, ready to give them a wild night. Next morning, Yamada wakes up after a night full of action and uses his cleanse skill on the baddies. After that, he tells them that there's a place he'd like to go to with them all. Turns out that the place is the real estate office, and Yamada asks the receptionist for a bigger house with a bath. When Earightles asks if they are moving, Yamada agrees, saying that it's getting cramped and a house with a bath will be great. Soon after, the receptionist comes up with the perfect house and takes them for a tour. Apparently, it's 3 times the size of the house they currently live in, and the interior of the house is pretty fancy as well. Yamada lets her know that he likes it very much, and when he decides to buy it, the receptionist lets him know that it costs 50 gold coins. However, Yamada couldn't care less about the price and instantly paid the price. The following days, the girls and Yamada work hard shifting the stuff and informing others about the new location of their store. Eventually, it is time for them to leave their current house, and Yamada can't help but remember the times he filled the huzz inside this house. After they settle in their new house, Yamada enjoys a warm bath when suddenly, Surti and Iraitles appear with slime liquid covering their bodies. Lestina and Malconia also seem to have the same liquid on their bodies. With that, all of them hop on the mat and start to rub themselves against Yamada. When Surti asks Yamada about his thoughts on foreplay using slime liquid, he replies that it's the best. The girls don't go easy on him, which causes Yamada to finish in quite an aggressive manner. Iraitles mentions how it looks like a water fountain while the others take turns slurping that liquid. Afterward, Yamada asks Lestina to sit on his face and Iraitles on his waist. He makes sure to show them a good time just like he did with the other girls. They had a lot of fun in the bedroom afterward as well, and the next morning, their new store officially opened. Rilia also returns to help out with the store, and as this is her first time, they advise her to learn by watching everyone else. Furthermore, Rilia mentions how surprised she was to see their new house, and Surti figures that she must have been in Garindo's place this whole time. Just then, Yamada notices a sad look on Rilia's face, but decides to ignore it for the time being. Later, everyone enjoys dinner, and Rilia is reminded by Lestina to eat her fill. This is when Yamada asks if something happened to Rilia and apologizes, saying that she doesn't have to tell if she's not comfortable. But Rilia lets them know that she's confused about whether to go on adventures. This comes as a shock to everyone, and Rilia says that it was her dream to live as an adventurer. Iraitles intervenes, asking if she's scared, to which Rilia agrees, saying that she's scared that she might lose this happy life. Surti also adds that there's always the danger of dying anytime, and they might have died if it wasn't for Yamada. After hearing this, Yamada holds her hand and reminds Rilia that she's not alone and he won't let her die. The others remind Rilia that they are also there for her, which brings tears to her eyes, and she gets motivated to conquer the dungeon of her dreams. Later, Rilia goes shopping with the others because she doesn't have casual clothes, and Yamada makes sure that she tries everything from a simple dress to something that barely covers anything. While wearing the festival clothing, Rilia showcases her itsy bits, making Yamada lose control and jump on her. Once they are home, Yamada makes some tasty-looking sandwiches to impress the baddies. He made it for the three of them who were going to raid a dungeon, and ended up giving them some S-grade potions as well. The girls start to wonder if it's all right for him to make this much amount of such powerful potions, to which he replies that he can make as much as he wants. Surti adds that she can use her ancient magic with these potions in hand, and invites Yamada to go to the dungeon with them. Additionally, she decides to bring Malconia and Lestina along as well thanks to the new barrier magic she learned. And while it was difficult to use it in normal circumstances, with the S-rank potion in hand, she can definitely protect them. What do you think Yamada's going to do with his new beast tamer skill? Comment potion if you'd like a part 2 of this series. As usual, thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one.